Hi, welcome to 10 Minutes with Me. You are Rebecca McDowell, and I met you because you were helping with our Sago Homes social media, but that is actually not why you are here joining me today. You're joining me because you're a bad bitch, and it's rare. I think you have some rare skills and a rare outlook for someone who is under 30. You are doing something really cool, which is, I don't know how much, do you want to talk about it?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm an open book. So anything.
What's the problem? Start with the problem. What's the problem you identified?
So for me as a freelancer, so with MeeGo, so you're talking about MeeGo, right? Is like what you're wanting. Okay. Yeah. So with MeeGo, the idea came from my personal experience, right? That I had with like client acquisition for just doing like social media management, which is how we met, obviously. And I noticed that, I was taking all this time to create profiles on Upwork, on freelancer.com, on Fiverr, on all these platforms. And I was kind of like a dog chasing its own tail, spending time and money paying for connects on Upwork. Most freelancers will understand what I'm talking about when I say that.
And then what happens?
It's so annoying.
And then what happens?
Nothing happens. Nothing happens. Literally, I spent days where I'm like, okay, I could have been doing something else to find clients. Like this was just a waste of time. So I pivoted my approach and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to leverage my Rolodex of people. So nowadays, everyone's connected, whether that's LinkedIn or Instagram. My network of people is Instagram. So I literally just simply threw up stories on my Instagram and said, hey, I'm providing these services. This is a specific niche that I'm going to be focusing on in order to provide those services to them. And so it wasn't just like a very broad target audience that I was looking for to provide the services to. I was very niche with who I was doing outreach for. And so what I realized is like most people hired me pretty quickly and without, very lengthy interviews because it was a recommendation. They knew me already or whatever.
Okay. It was a recommendation, but did you meet them or speak to them?
Yeah, I mean, there's initial phone calls, right? It wasn't like, hey, you're hired immediately, but it was a lot easier than I think if I had gone through a marketplace, right? Where someone's going to vet you, it's going to take a week for them to interview, it's going to take them all of this extra time to do their due diligence because they don't know you from Adam, right? And so with these people, it didn't take as much. And so I was able to build my freelance business like really quickly. One, because I had to, or else I was probably going to get evicted, or so I didn't really have a choice at the time. But this worked a lot easier than having just random strangers online trying to vet me or whatever. I didn't have a pre-existing portfolio. I was a skilled professional, but I didn't even have that pre-existing portfolio. So this was the best method that I found. And to that drove me to think about MeeGo, right? Is more of like a social approach to finding freelancers and connecting clients and freelancers on a platform. It makes more sense, right? And it's a lot easier. So that's how I got here.
Yeah. So how are you spending? So you still are paying your bills through your social media work.
Yep.
But I and Morgan Miller have been advising you. We are two of your advisory board members. How do you spend your time? Like, what's your time split between your entrepreneurship with MeeGo and then like your pay the bills with social media?
Seriously, sometimes it feels like such a blur because it's just like I work all the time. I would say it's pretty heavy, like 60-40. I mean, I have to pay my bills, right? Like,
yes, so obviously we all have to pay our bills.
Like, if I had a choice, it'd be like MeeGo 100% of the time. I know you're a social media client, but I just love MeeGo, right? It's my passion. Yeah. It's what I really enjoy doing. But I would say right now, 60% of my time goes to social media, maybe a little bit heavier than that. And then the rest goes to MeeGo. But this isn't, so keep in mind, this isn't like 9 to 5, 60-40. Like this is 7 days a week, right? So like I would probably say
you have like the curse. Welcome to being a member of the curse of those of us who work 7 days a week and you just can't not. And yeah.
It's a grind. It really is. I've lost friends because of it, which is like, it happens. I just think I have a different focus right now in my life, and I'm trying to build something that I think will provide a lot of value. And that's everyone on the team, right? So that's not just me, that's the entire team. They all have full-time jobs too. I can't pay them yet. I'm a very, very early stage right now. And so I can't, pay them for their time. And so everyone's doing this, basically a second full-time job on top of their current full-time job, right? So the point is, right, is like 60-40, right? 40% of my time, and I would say that would be like on the weekends and the evenings. So usually I shut off, like my 9 to 5 is social media. I'll try to find times throughout the day where I'm like, okay, I can do this for MeeGo, I can do that for MeeGo, but then after that it's MeeGo time. And that's throughout the week, and then on the weekends I do MeeGo too. So it's a hustle, it's a grind.
Yeah.
But it's totally
Well,
worth
it's
it.
not 9 to 5. I mean, like I don't know. I guess people do work 9 to 5. I never did. I never have. Like,
Yeah.
I personally have found a lot better balance in, I work, some weeks I probably work 50 hours. Some weeks I work 65. I really don't work more than 65 anymore. But I do it at all these crazy times. It's definitely not 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you feel about this. Maybe you like, do you agree with the fact that you couldn't not?
Yeah, I mean, gosh. Well, when I think you really love something, it doesn't feel like work necessarily. Like when I'm doing like MeeGo stuff, like I'm in a completely different mindset, right, than when I'm doing social media stuff, because I genuinely love MeeGo, and it's a different headspace, right? So it doesn't feel like it's like strained work, or that I don't know, that I don't want to do it. Like I love doing it. So it just comes naturally. It's how I want to spend my time. Like some people may want to spend their time on the weekends frolicking around Austin and drinking beer. And I'm like, there's nothing wrong with that, right? But it's like, for me, I love doing this, and this is what I want to do, right? So I think maybe my personality is a part of that too, right? Which is what I think you're trying to say is like, yeah, I probably couldn't just sit around and do nothing like outside of like work. Like I'm just, the way that I'm wired is I always want to be doing something or building something. So I don't think that I couldn't not be doing this,
Yeah.
right? So
Okay, so right now with MeeGo, you're kind of at an inflection point, I think. So you have I'd say a 90% done pitch deck, right?
yeah.
You've
Yeah.
got a really well-defined, extremely well-defined view of your target market, the pain points they face, your product solution, and the feature set specifically around that solution.
Yeah.
What is, like, if you look at all the things you're doing and kind of where you want to be in 90 days, what is your biggest challenge that you feel like you need to overcome?
Personally, or like
What
as a business or whatever.
answer with your gut, Becca.
Um, so I think for me, it's going to be getting out of my comfort zone and pitching, right? I've never done a pitch competition before.
Oh wow, you've never done even like a
I've done, I
mock?
mean, no, I've never done a mock. I mean, I did meetings at the last the last startup, right? Where I'd go on meetings with like VCs and stuff, and like I was fine with that. I mean, that's one-on-one, and I've done networking groups, and I'll go and network with investors and stuff. I'm good at that, but I've never done like a full-on presentation pitch before. And so I think I'm a little nervous about that one, and I know I need to practice. So for me, I think it's just sometimes imposter syndrome can come up, and you're like, can I actually do this? Do I have what it takes? And I think that's just normal, and I ignore it. And I'm like, of course I can. I have people who believe in me, like you and Morgan, Jenny, the people on the team, my family, they've been big supporters. And so that's always really helpful, right, to help like eliminate those thoughts. But so for me personally, I think it's going to be just taking this next step is, getting funded, and then having that team full time. I mean, that's a massive responsibility, right? So I think for me, it's just trusting myself more, and trusting my gut and my intuition, and just asking more people around me for advice and guidance, which is why I have you guys.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to pause you because you said something at the beginning of this conversation, and I think you have a bit of a blind spot. Okay. So I'm going to throw you on this on video. Let's see how you react. You said, I asked you the question, how do you think you built the social media side of your business? Right? You had a problem, like these marketplaces, whatever, like that's bullshit, doesn't work. You said, I earned it through referrals. I actually don't think you got your business, any of your business through referrals. I think you got your business because you showed up and you got something that is different than anyone that's competing with you. So I interviewed other people, and the minute I met you, I was like, oh, I'm definitely going with her. So because I think you've got you've got the intelligence, you've got the ability to say, I don't know the answer, but let me go figure it out. You have extreme levels of confidence, right? And those two things together are super powerful, because when you have that confidence, but you also have the confidence to say like, gosh, I don't know, let me go figure it out. It makes people trust you. And by the way, they should trust you because you are being completely honest in yourself in that. Yes. If I take that, okay, and I match it with what you just said of, I've never done a pitch, I've got to get in front of the right people. Mm-hmm. It's the exact same thing, just with higher stakes. Yeah. So the skills and presence and honesty and abilities that you already have exhibited in those interactions are going to transfer one-to-one to this next set. It's just about learning. And I think just in talking to you in our advisory meetings, like you're like, I'm really uncomfortable with what's going to happen in that meeting, and I don't know what to say to make them get to the next point. But I think you're already doing it. Like, I think you should maybe do a practice or two, like just so you feel better about it. But I feel like you could go in cold and do it tomorrow and do really well. So,
well, the way that I see it is like, if you have, like, I know every single corner of this business. I've been a part of the product. I've been a part of the business plan, the market research, the marketing, the sales. Like, I've been a part of all of it, right? And so I know the business. And I think that if you're going to be a good CEO or a good leader, like, you need to know your business. If you don't know your business, and making everyone else do the work for you, you're not prepared, or you're not a good leader, right? So I should be able to look at a pitch deck and say, yes, I know how to pitch this because I know my business, right? And if you've done the research and you've done the work and you understand what you're trying to get people to fund, and you're understanding the long-term benefit for them too, right? Like, you shouldn't have an issue going into a room, right, of investors and talking to them. So for me, maybe it isn't that. I've always been kind of good at presenting. But I think it's just a responsibility. Like, if we go even a layer deeper, it's that responsibility component. Because if you think about like social media management, I'm an individual contributor, right? I mean, I did just hire someone under me for social media to help offset I'm doing MeeGo, right? To offset some of my workload so that I can get higher paying clients, and I can also allocate more time to MeeGo, right, during the week. And so, but prior to that, it was just me. So I didn't have anyone else that I was responsible for. I was just like, you know what, I'm going to hunt and kill. And if I don't kill, then I don't eat. But it's not like I have other mouths to feed. Right. Right. So
and if I don't feel like doing it today, I don't feel like doing it today.
Yeah. But with the team, it's totally different. It's totally different.
Totally different. So yeah.
The responsibility of that, like once we're funded, those people come on full time, and, these people have put a lot of time and effort into our product, into getting us to this point today. So for me, it's always the, I guess, perspective of, I don't want to disappoint them, right? Or I don't want to let them down, or I don't want their time to go to waste. And so that responsibility can weigh heavy on someone, but you just have to like trust yourself, I guess, and get through that part. So I think that's probably more of my hesitation. It's not like I don't think that I can go pitch people. I think that it's more of, okay, I get the money, I got to take care of these people now. Now it's not just me anymore. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. Well, that's, it's interesting. That's the career stage. I think if you had taken a traditional route, you would be entering into that career stage where would be your next challenge regardless, right? Like, I'm taking on a team, I'm taking on a leadership for something. It's just, as an entrepreneur, it's just so much more acute. because there's nothing you can ever hide behind. Like it's you, like you said, you love it. It's something you love, right? So
Yeah.
it just has more feeling. Well,
Yeah.
good. So we'll put this out, but where can people find out more about you? Not your social media, but like MeeGo and everything you're doing. And yeah, we're not trying to like, I mean, if you want to sell more social, great, cool. But I feel like your real strength is not that that's not a strength, but I feel like you have a towering thing you're about to do. So
yeah, I mean, I would say follow MeeGo, right? Because I am MeeGo right now. I don't have a lot of stuff online that's personally about
do you want them to go to Instagram or to LinkedIn?
I would do our Facebook group.
Oh.
We were just talking about this yesterday. Go to our Facebook group if you're a freelancer in Austin or you utilize them for your business. Go to Austin Freelancer Community and Referrals. You'll see the MeeGo branding. It's a Facebook group that we've actually recently started so that people can connect with one another at a hyperlocal level. And they can basically post jobs that they need freelancers to fill, or freelancers can refer other freelancers to jobs that are posted on the page. Also a really good tool to just connect with other freelancers and ask them questions on how they've built and scaled their businesses and been successful in freelancing. So it is a useful page and you should go check it out. Other than that, our website, www.meego.app, and that's MEEGO.app. Go check us out there. We'll have updates and we have newsletters and all that stuff. Me personally, I'm like, I don't have a life, so I'm probably pretty boring to follow.
No, let's send them traffic. Let's send it to MeeGo. Check out MeeGo. Let's do this. Check out MeeGo. If you're interested in helping Becca pitch or in helping her with her seed round, just DM me and I'll connect you. So I'll buffer the people for you.
Yay,
All right. Thank you. Keep it up. You're doing great. Talk to you soon.
Thanks for having me.
Bye, Becca.